Ambassador stood at the viewing window of his flagship and watched the blue planet grow larger. Earth, the third world from a small yellow star, home to a species that had only recently discovered space travel. They had been watching humans for 50 years. They had seen their first satellites. They had listened to their radio signals. They had studied their wars and their art and their strange way of living. Now, the Galactic Council had decided it was time for first contact. Was proud to lead this mission. His fleet of 12 ships carried diplomats, scientists, and traders. They brought gifts and knowledge. They came in peace. Ambassador, his second officer, called from across the bridge. "We are entering the outer boundary of their system." Nodded slowly. His pale blue skin reflected the light from the screens around him. "Begin broadcasting our greeting message. Use all frequencies they are known to monitor." The communication officer worked quickly. The message was simple. It introduced thee as peaceful visitors. It asked for permission to approach. It promised friendship. Expected to wait hours or even days for a response. Humans were primitive. Their communication technology was slow and weak. They would need time to understand what was happening. But the response came in seconds. It did not come from Earth. "Ambassador," the sensor officer jumped from his seat. His voice was sharp with fear. "There is a ship powering up near their moon." Turned quickly. "Show me." The main screen changed. It showed the Earth's moon, a dusty world. And there, rising from a crater on the dark side, was something impossible. The ship was massive. It was larger than its entire fleet combined. Its surface was black and smooth, without any markings or windows. It moved slowly at first, like a creature waking from a long sleep. Then it turned toward the fleet. "Where did that come from?" demanded. "Our scans showed nothing on that moon." "It was buried, Ambassador, deep under the surface. Our sensors could not detect it through the rock." The communication officer raised her hand. "Ambassador, we are receiving a transmission. It is coming from that ship." "Put it through." The bridge fell silent. Then a voice filled the room. It spoke in perfect galactic standard, the common language of 1,000 worlds. The voice was calm and cold, without any emotion. "Earth Command online. Threat assessment initiated. Scanning approaching vessels." Felt his blood turn cold. Earth Command. The humans had a name for everything, but this was not human technology. He had studied their ships. They were small and fragile things made of metal and fire. This vessel was something else entirely. "Respond to them," ordered. "Tell them we come in peace. We are ambassadors from the Galactic Council." The communication officer sent the message. The reply came instantly. "Peace declaration noted, cross-referencing species identification. Empire, status, known expansionist power. Previous contact with protected worlds, 7. Hostile actions recorded, 12 incidents." "Step back. How does it know that? Those incidents were classified. They happened centuries ago." The voice continued without pause. "Initiating defensive protocols. Weapons systems charging. Warning to approaching vessels. You have entered protected space. State your intentions clearly or face immediate termination." On the screen, the black ship began to glow. Lines of bright blue light spread across its surface like veins. Ports opened along its sides, revealing weapons that did not recognize. He had seen galactic warships. He had seen planet killers, but he had never seen anything like this. "All ships hold position," shouted into the fleet channel. "Do not move, do not power weapons." His fleet obeyed. 12 ships hung motionless in the void. Far below, on the surface of Earth, the humans had no idea what was happening. They went about their lives. They drove their cars and ate their meals and watched their screens. They did not know that their moon held a secret older than their civilization. Tried again. "Earth Command, we request peaceful contact with the inhabitants of the third planet. We mean them no harm." "Request. Historical analysis indicates deception probability of 94.7%. Diplomatic missions have preceded military occupation in 73% of recorded cases. That was the old empire. We have changed. The council has laws now. Laws are words. Actions are truth. Scanning your fleet composition. Detecting military-grade shielding on vessels 2, 5, and 9. Detecting concealed weapon systems on vessel 7. Conclusion: this is not a diplomatic mission. His heart sank. It was true. The council had insisted on bringing some protection. They did not fully trust the humans, but how could this machine know? Its sensors were reading through their best shields like they were glass. "What are you?" whispered. "I am Earth Command. I was built to protect this world and its children. I have waited for this moment for a very long time." The sensor officer looked up with wide eyes. "Ambassador, that ship's power signature is increasing. It is beyond anything in our database, beyond anything the Council has ever recorded." Made a decision. Open a channel to the Council, send everything we have. They need to know what we found here. Communications are being blocked, Ambassador. Earth Command is jamming all outgoing signals. The cold voice spoke again. "Your message will not reach your masters. You came to this world seeking a primitive species to control. Instead, you found something else. You found the children of the architects." Did not recognize that name, but something in the way the machine said it made him very afraid. "Leave now," Earth Command said. "Tell your council what you have seen. Tell them that Earth is not alone. It never was. And if they come here with hostile intent, they will share the fate of all who threatened this world before them." "What fate?" asked. "What happened to them?" "They are gone, 47 species, 47 civilizations, all erased. Their worlds are empty now. Their names are forgotten. Only I remember them. Only I carry the record of their end." The bridge was silent. 12 ships floated in the darkness, and before them the ancient guardian of Earth waited for their answer. Did not know what to do. He was an ambassador, trained for negotiation and compromise. But there was no negotiating with this thing. It was a weapon from a forgotten age, and it had just told him that humanity was not what they seemed. The humans were not primitive at all. They were something far more dangerous. They were protected. Lieutenant was eating breakfast when her phone rang. The number was blocked. That meant military. That meant trouble. She answered on the second ring. "This is." "Report to Site 7 immediately. A car is waiting outside your building." The line went dead. Put down her rice bowl and grabbed her jacket. She had been in the Space Defense Force for 8 years. She knew what a blocked call meant. Something had happened. Something big. The car was black and silent. The driver did not speak. They drove through the city as the sun rose over the buildings, watched the people on the streets. They were going to work and school. They had no idea that their world was about to change. Site 7 was hidden in the mountains. From the outside, it looked like an old research station, but underground, it was the most secret facility in the country. Only 50 people in the world knew it existed. Passed through 3 security checkpoints. She showed her badge and her eyes and her fingerprints. Then she walked down a long hallway to the command center. Commander was waiting for her. He was an older man with hair and tired eyes. He had been running Site 7 for 20 years, had never seen him look scared before. Today he looked scared. "Sit down," said. "We don't have much time." Sat. The room was full of screens showing data she did not understand. Numbers and symbols flashed everywhere. 12 hours ago, we detected an alien fleet entering our solar system, said. Blinked aliens, real aliens. Real aliens. Though they sent a greeting message, they wanted to make first contact. That's incredible. Why am I here? I'm just a communications officer. Leaned forward. Because something else happened, something we cannot explain. When the alien fleet approached, a ship rose from the moon, a ship that was not supposed to exist. It identified itself as Earth Command. He pressed a button. A recording played, heard the cold, mechanical voice. She heard it threaten the alien fleet. She heard it speak of 47 destroyed civilizations. When it ended, she could not speak. "That ship has been buried on the moon for at least 50,000 years, said. "We found traces of it in 1987. We have been studying it ever since, but we could never activate it. We could never even get inside, until today." It woke up on its own. It woke up because the aliens came. It was waiting for them, waiting for a threat. Shook her head, "But what is it? Who built it?" Stood up and walked to a large screen. He pressed several buttons. Files appeared. Old files. Files marked with the highest level of classification. "Project Sentinel," he said. "In 1987, astronauts found an entrance to the buried ship. They went inside. What they found changed everything we thought we knew about human history." The screen showed photographs. Ancient walls covered in strange writing. Machines that looked like nothing on Earth. And in the center of the ship, a single chamber with a message carved in stone. "The message was in a language we had never seen," continued. "It took us 30 years to translate it. It said, 'To our children who will come after, we leave you this guardian. May it keep you safe until you are ready to join the stars.'" Felt dizzy. Our children, what does that mean? "It means we are not originally from Earth. Humans, I mean. Our ancestors came from somewhere else. They settled here thousands of years ago. They left Earth Command to protect us. Then they disappeared." "Disappeared? Where did they go?" "We don't know. The records inside the ship are damaged, but we know they called themselves the Architects, and we know they were running from something terrible." Thought about the alien fleet floating in space. She thought about the massive ship that had risen to face them. She thought about the 47 civilizations that Earth Command had destroyed. "Commander," she said slowly, "if Earth Command sees those aliens as a threat, will it destroy them too?" Nodded. "That is exactly what we are afraid of. Earth Command is fully automatic. It does not ask for permission. It does not wait for orders. It makes its own decisions based on data we do not understand." "Can we stop it?" "We don't know. We have never been able to communicate with it until today." He handed her a tablet. "1 hour ago, Earth Command sent a message directly to this facility, to us, to humanity." Read the message. It was short. "Descendants detected. Genetic match confirmed. Earth Command requests authorization to proceed with full defensive protocol. Awaiting response from designated human authority." "It's asking us for permission," whispered. "Yes. For the first time in 50,000 years, Earth Command is waiting for a human to tell it what to do, and we have no idea what the full defensive protocol means." Looked at the screens around her. She saw the alien fleet holding position. She saw Earth Command floating near the moon, its weapons still glowing. She saw the data streams flowing between them. "Why me?" she asked. "Why did you bring me here?" Smiled sadly. "Because you have the gene, the Architect gene. We found it in your blood when you joined the military. It is rare. Only a few hundred people on Earth have it, and Earth Command will only respond to those people." "The gene? What gene?" "The gene that marks you as a true descendant, a child of the Architects. Earth Command was programmed to obey only those who carry this marker. You are one of them." Stood up, her legs felt weak. "You're saying I can control that thing, that ship?" "We don't know if you can control it, but you might be able to talk to it. You might be able to convince it not to destroy those aliens." "And if I can't?" Was silent for a long moment. Then he spoke quietly. "If you can't, then Earth Command will do what it was built to do. It will protect humanity by eliminating any potential threat. It will start a war with the entire galaxy, and we will have no way to stop it." looked at the image of Earth Command on the screen. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time, a gift from ancestors she never knew she had, a weapon that had waited 50,000 years for this moment. And now it was waiting for her. "How do I talk to it?" she asked. Pointed to a door at the back of the room. "There is a communication station through there. It is connected to the ship through quantum links. When you sit down, Earth Command will know you are there. It will be able to hear you." Walked toward the door. She stopped with her hand on the handle. "Commander," she said, "what if Earth Command is right? What if those aliens really are a threat?" Shook his head. "That is not for us to decide. We are humans. We make our own choices. We don't let machines make them for us. Not anymore." Opened the door and stepped through. The room beyond was small and dark. A single chair sat before a glowing console. She sat down and took a deep breath. The screen lit up. A single word appeared. "Descendant recognized. Connection established. Speak." Opened her mouth. The fate of 2 civilizations waited for her words. Ambassador had not moved in 6 hours. His fleet remained frozen in space. His crew waited in silence, and the massive ship called Earth Command watched them with its cold, unblinking sensors. Had tried everything. He had sent messages of peace. He had offered gifts and technology. He had even apologized for the actions of the old empire. Nothing worked. Earth Command simply repeated its warning and continued its threat assessment. "Ambassador," his sensor officer said quietly, "the ship's weapons are still charging. Power levels have increased by 12% since we arrived." Closed his eyes. 12%. In another few hours, those weapons would be fully charged, and then Earth Command would make its decision. He thought about the 47 civilizations the machine had mentioned. 47 species erased from existence. Their worlds empty. Their names forgotten. They had considered themselves one of the great powers of the galaxy, but compared to whatever built Earth Command, they were nothing. "There must be a way to reason with it," muttered. "It is a machine," his second officer said. "Machines do not reason, they follow programming." "Then we need to find who programmed it. We need to talk to the humans." The communication officer shook her head. "We cannot reach them. Earth Command is blocking all signals to the planet. The humans have no idea we are here." Stared at the blue world below. So close and yet completely unreachable. The humans went about their simple lives, unaware that their forgotten guardians were about to start a war in their name. Then his screen flickered. A new transmission was coming through, but it was not from Earth Command. It was from the planet itself. "Ambassador," a young female voice said, "my name is, I am speaking to you from Earth. Please respond." Jumped forward. "This is Ambassador of the diplomatic fleet. How are you reaching us? Earth Command is blocking all communications." "I have been given temporary authorization to contact you. Earth Command is allowing this conversation because I asked it to. I do not have much time. Please listen carefully." Leaned closer to the speaker. "I am listening." Earth Command was built by our ancestors. We call them the architects. They created humanity and placed us on this world thousands of years ago. Then they disappeared. They left Earth Command to protect us. "We had no idea," said. "We thought humans were a young species. We thought you had evolved naturally on this planet." "So did we. We only learned the truth recently. But that is not important right now. What is important is that Earth Command sees you as a threat, and if it decides to attack, I cannot stop it." Felt fear crawling up his spine. "We are not a threat. We came in peace." "I believe you, but Earth Command does not work on belief. It works on data, and the data says that the Empire has attacked other worlds. It says that your diplomatic missions often end in conquest. That was centuries ago. We have changed." The line was quiet for a moment, then spoke again. "Earth Command just sent me a file. It contains the coordinates of 47 star systems. Do you know what those systems have in common? Shook his head, then remembered she could not see him. No. They were all home to intelligent species. Species that came to Earth at some point in history. Species that Earth Command determined were hostile. Her voice grew heavy. Those systems are empty now, Ambassador. Earth Command did not just destroy their fleets, it destroyed everything. Their planets, their colonies, their entire civilizations. Nothing remains. His blood turned to ice. He looked at his crew. They had heard everything. They were all terrified. Why, he whispered, why would it do something so terrible? Because it was programmed to protect humanity at all costs. The architects were afraid. They were running from something. They wanted to make sure their children would survive no matter what. So they gave Earth Command the power to eliminate any threat completely and permanently. But we are not a threat. I know, and I am trying to convince Earth Command of that, but I need your help. What can I do? His voice became firm. Tell your fleet to power down all weapons, all shields, all defensive systems. Open your ships to full scans. Show Earth Command that you have nothing to hide. Hesitated. If we do that, we will be completely vulnerable. If your machine decides to attack anyway, we will have no chance to escape. I know, I am asking you to trust me. I am asking you to trust humanity. The bridge was silent. Every officer looked at. The decision was his. He thought about his mission. He thought about the council waiting for his report. He thought about his family back home on Prime. Then he thought about those 47 empty star systems. Entire civilizations gone. Billions of lives erased. All because they made the wrong choice when facing Earth Command. Very well, said, we will do as you ask. He turned to his crew. All ships power down weapons, lower shields, open all systems to external scanning. Do it now. The orders went out. One by one, the 12 ships of the fleet went dark. Their weapons fell silent. Their shields dropped. They floated in space, defenseless and exposed. On the screen, Earth Command sensors swept over them. The blue lines of light on its surface pulsed slowly. Scanning complete, the cold voice announced. Weapons offline, shields offline, no hidden threats detected, adjusting threat assessment. Held his breath. Threat level reduced from critical to elevated. Attack probability decreased to 34.7%. Continuing observation. His voice returned. It's working. The threat level is dropping, but it's not enough yet. What more can we do? I don't know. Earth Command is calculating something. It's accessing historical records it's looking for. Oh no. What is it? Sounded worried. It found something, a record from 1200 years ago. A scout ship entered the solar system. It scanned Earth and left. Earth Command tracked it but did not engage. Remembered that mission. It was in the historical archives. An early exploration flight that had discovered Earth long before the Council decided to make contact. That was just a survey mission, he said. We were mapping new systems. We did not interact with your world at all. I know, but Earth Command is analyzing what happened after that mission. It's looking at expansion patterns. It's calculating. She paused. It's calculating the probability that your survey led to invasion planning. That's insane. We had no plans to invade Earth. It doesn't matter what your plans were. Earth Command only cares about what could happen, and according to its calculations, there is a 67.3% chance that your people came back to conquer us. Wanted to scream. They were being judged by a machine that could not understand intent or change. A machine that saw threats everywhere. A machine that had already destroyed 47 civilizations for crimes they might have committed. He said desperately, there must be something we can do, some way to prove we mean no harm. The line was quiet, then spoke slowly. There might be one thing, but it's dangerous for both of us. Tell me. Earth Command responds to genetic authority. I can give it commands because I carry the architect gene. But there's a higher level of authority, a level that requires both an architect descendant and a representative of an outside species. What does that mean? It means you need to come here, Ambassador. You need to come to Earth and stand beside me. Together, we can access the full command protocols. Together, we might be able to change Earth Command's programming. Looked at the massive ship floating near the moon. Its weapons were still charged. Its threat assessment was still running. If I go to Earth, he said, Earth Command might see it as an attack. Yes, it might destroy you the moment you leave your fleet. But if I don't go, your machine will eventually decide we are threats anyway. Yes, probably. Stood tall. He had spent his whole life as a diplomat. He had faced angry warlords and suspicious councils. He had talked his way out of impossible situations. But he had never faced anything like this. Prepare a landing zone, he said. I am coming to Earth. The small shuttle descended through Earth's atmosphere. Ambassador sat alone in the passenger compartment. He had left his guards behind. He had left his weapons behind. He came to Earth with nothing but his words and his hope. Earth Command tracked him the entire way down. Its sensors followed his shuttle like a predator watching prey. But it did not fire. It allowed him to pass. The landing zone was a flat field near the mountains. Military vehicles surrounded it. Soldiers stood ready with weapons that would be useless against the power floating above them. They were scared, could see it in their faces. The shuttle touched down, walked out into the sunlight of an alien world. A young woman waited for him. She was small and thin, with black hair and serious eyes. She wore a military uniform that seemed too large for her, but there was strength in the way she stood. Ambassador, she said, I am welcome to Earth. Looked around at the blue sky and green mountains. It was a beautiful world. He understood why the architects had chosen it for their children. Thank you for giving me this chance, he said. I know the risk you are taking. Nodded. Earth Command is watching us right now. It has reduced your threat level to moderate. That is the first time it has ever done that for an alien visitor. What changed? You came alone. You came unarmed. Earth Command is designed to recognize acts of trust. Your actions showed that you might be different from the others who came before. Thought about the 47 civilizations again. Did any of them try what I am trying? Shook her head. No. According to the records, they all responded to Earth Command with weapons and threats. They tried to destroy it or control it. None of them tried to understand it. Perhaps they did not have someone like you to guide them. Smiled slightly. Perhaps come with me, we have much to do. She led him to a vehicle. They drove through the mountains to a hidden facility. Saw humans everywhere, working at screens and machines. They stared at him with a mixture of fear and curiosity. He was the first alien they had ever seen in person. Commander met them at the entrance. He looked at with cautious respect. Ambassador, he said, I must be honest with you. Many people in our government wanted to let Earth Command destroy your fleet. They said it would be safer. Nodded slowly. I understand. If our positions were reversed, some of my people would say the same thing. But convinced us to try a different path. She said that humanity should not begin its relationship with the galaxy through destruction. She said we should choose peace, even if it is harder. Looked uncomfortable. I just said what I believed, Commander. Smiled. Sometimes that is the most important thing anyone can do. They walked deep into the facility. The corridors became older and stranger. The walls changed from concrete to metal. The metal had patterns that did not recognize. Architect design. This section was built around a piece of the architect's ship, explained. It fell to Earth thousands of years ago. Our ancestors built temples around it before they forgot what it was. They entered a large circular room. In the center stood a column of light. It pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. This is the interface, said. Through this, I can speak directly to Earth Command, and with your help we might be able to access the core programming. Approached the light carefully. He could feel energy coming from it, warm and strange. What do I need to do? Stood beside him. Place your hand in the light. Earth Command will scan you. If it accepts you as a valid diplomatic representative, we can proceed to the next level. Hesitated, and if it does not accept me, then it will probably kill you. The room was very quiet. Looked at the column of light. He thought about his fleet waiting above. He thought about his family. He thought about all the things he still wanted to do with his life. Then he placed his hand in the light. Pain shot through his arm. He felt his mind opening, his thoughts spreading out. Something vast and ancient looked into him. It saw everything. His memories, his fears, his hopes, his secrets. For a moment that lasted forever, was not alone in his own head. Then the pain stopped. The light turned from white to blue. Diplomatic representative recognized, Earth Command announced. Species, status, under evaluation, joint authority protocol enabled. Let out a breath she had been holding. It accepted you. Pulled his hand back, it was shaking. That was intense. Now we can access the core files together. We can see why Earth Command was built. We can see what the architects were so afraid of. She placed her hand in the light, did the same. The blue glow surrounded them both. And then they saw. Images flashed through their minds. A great civilization spreading across the stars. The architects at the height of their power. Beautiful cities on 1,000 worlds. Peace and prosperity everywhere. Then darkness came. Something appeared at the edge of architect space. Something hungry. Something that consumed worlds and erased species. The architects called it the Void. They fought against it for centuries. They lost. One by one their worlds fell. Their people died. Their civilization collapsed. In desperation the survivors fled. They scattered across the galaxy, hopping to hide, hopping to survive. A small group came to Earth. They found a young world full of life. They modified themselves to survive here. They had children, and those children became humanity. But the survivors knew the Void might find them again, so they built Earth Command. They gave it one purpose: protect their children at all costs, destroy anything that might lead the Void to Earth. The images faded, and stood in the room, tears in their eyes. They were so afraid, whispered. They gave up everything to save their children. Understood now. Earth Command was not evil. It was not cruel. It was the desperate creation of a dying people who wanted to protect what they loved most. The 47 civilizations, he said slowly. Earth Command did not destroy them because they were threats to humanity. It destroyed them because they might have led the Void to Earth. Yes, every species that found Earth was a potential signal, a marker that could attract the enemy. Earth Command eliminated them to keep humanity hidden. Felt sick. Billions of lives ended to protect a secret. It was horrible, but he also understood the terrible logic behind it. Is the Void still out there? He asked. Closed her eyes. More images came. Recent scans, deep space observations, patterns in the cosmic background radiation. Earth Command has been watching for 10,000 years, she said. It has detected movement in the Void between galaxies. Something is coming. Slowly, but it is coming. Felt fear deeper than anything he had ever known. How long do we have? Earth Command estimates 300 to 500 years, maybe less. 300 years. In galactic terms, that was tomorrow. Then we cannot waste time fighting each other, said. Humanity and thee and everyone else. We need to prepare. We need to work together. Looked at him with hope in her eyes. Can you convince your council? I do not know, but I have to try. She reached out and took his hand. Then let us begin. Together they turned back to the light. They had work to do. Commander watched the screens with growing worry. An ambassador had been connected to the interface for 3 hours. Their vital signs were stable, but their brain activity was off the charts. They were seeing things, learning things, changing things. Outside, the world was in chaos. News of the alien fleet had leaked. People were panicking in the streets. Governments were demanding answers. And above it all, Earth Command floated silently, waiting. Then the light in the interface room changed. It shifted from blue to gold. Had never seen that color before. And opened their eyes at the same time. They looked exhausted, but also somehow different, stronger. "It's done," said. Rushed to her side. "What's done? What did you do?" Sat down heavily. Her hands were still shaking. "We Earth Command, not completely. We could not change its core purpose, but we added new rules, new guidelines." Spoke up. "Earth Command will no longer destroy civilizations for simply finding Earth. It will evaluate intentions first. It will give others a chance to prove they mean no harm." "Like me," said, "like my fleet." "Yes, your fleet is safe now. Earth Command has officially classified thee as potential allies, not threats." Felt relief wash over him, but something in its expression worried him. "What else?" he asked. "What aren't you telling me?" Looked at the screens showing Earth Command. The massive ship had begun to move. It was rising higher above the moon, positioning itself at the edge of the solar system. "We also unlocked the warning system," she said. "Earth Command showed us what is coming. The Void. The enemy that destroyed the architects. It is real, Commander, and it is heading toward this part of the galaxy." Felt his blood turn cold. How long? 3 to 5 centuries, maybe less. 3 centuries. It seemed like a long time, but knew how slowly civilizations changed, how slowly they prepared for threats they could not see. "We need to warn everyone," he said. "The whole galaxy needs to know." Nodded. "That is why I must return to my fleet. I must bring this information to the Galactic Council. They need to see what we have seen." "Will they believe you?" "They will have to. Earth Command has given us proof. Scans, records, historical data from the architect civilization. The evidence is undeniable." Stood up slowly. "There is one more thing, something we decided together." She walked to a console and pressed several buttons. A holographic image appeared. It showed Earth Command, but different. The black ship was now surrounded by smaller vessels. Hundreds of them. Thousands. A fleet beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. Earth Command was not just a single ship, explained. It was a seed, a template. Hidden in its programming were designs for an entire defensive network. The architects planned to build an armada that could stand against the Void. Stared at the image. They never finished it. "No, they ran out of time, but we have time now. 3 centuries to build what they could not." "We cannot do this alone," said. "Earth does not have the resources, the technology." "That is why we need the galaxy," said. "All species working together, sharing knowledge, building defenses. The architects failed because they were alone. Humanity does not have to make the same mistake." The room fell silent. Everyone understood what this meant. The universe had just become much bigger and much more dangerous. Nothing would ever be the same. Walked to the window. Outside, the sun was setting over the mountains. The sky was painted in shades of orange and red, beautiful and peaceful. "I used to think space was empty," she said quietly. "Just stars and planets and nothing else. Now I know the truth. Space is full of life, full of history, full of dangers we cannot imagine." Came to stand beside her. "It is also full of hope. The architects gave their lives to protect their children, and now those children have a chance to succeed where their parents failed. You really think we can do this? Stand against something that destroyed an entire civilization?" "I do not know, but I know that we have to try, and I know that humans are remarkable. You have only been in space for a few decades, but you have already changed the galaxy. Your species has something special, something the architects saw when they chose this world. Smiled sadly, or maybe they were just desperate and we were the only option. Perhaps, but the result is the same. Humanity exists, humanity survives, and now humanity has a purpose. Commander joined them at the window. What do we tell the world? How do we explain all this? Thought for a long moment. We tell them the truth, all of it, the architects, Earth Command, the void, everything. Humans deserve to know their history. They deserve to know what is coming. It will cause panic. At first, yes, but humans are strong. When they understand the threat, they will rise to meet it. That is what we do. That is what we have always done. Outside, the first stars were appearing in the darkening sky. Somewhere up there, the fleet waited. Earth Command watched. And far beyond the edge of the galaxy, something ancient and hungry continued its slow journey toward the light. Turn to leave. I should return to my ship. The council will want a full report. Walked with him to the door. Ambassador, before you go, I need you to deliver a message. What message? She looked up at him with determination in her eyes. Tell the galaxy that Earth is awake now. Tell them that we know about the void. Tell them that we are building an alliance. Any species that wants to stand with us is welcome. But also tell them this. Earth Command is still watching. It will still protect humanity. Any species that threatens us will face the same fate as the 47 before. Nodded slowly. A warning and an invitation. You are learning to think like a galactic power. I am thinking like a human. We offer friendship first, but we always keep our defenses ready. They shook hands in the human way. It felt strange too, but also meaningful. Goodbye, I suspect we will meet again. I hope so, Ambassador. Safe travels. Walked out into the night. A shuttle was waiting to take him back to his fleet. He climbed aboard and watched Earth grow smaller through the window. What a strange world, he thought. What a strange species. They knew nothing about their past. They barely understood their present. And yet they faced the future with courage that made ancient empires seem weak. Perhaps that was why the architects had chosen them. Not because they were perfect, but because they never gave up. The shuttle docked with his flagship. His crew waited with anxious questions, but raised his hand for silence. Set course for home, he said. We have a story to tell, a warning to deliver, and an alliance to build. The fleet turned away from Earth. Behind them, the massive form of Earth Command remained at its post. Its sensors swept the darkness between stars. Its weapons stood ready. It had waited 50,000 years for its children to awaken. Now that they had, it would continue to wait, continue to watch, continue to protect. Because that was its purpose, that was its promise. And far below, on the blue world called Earth, looked up at the stars and smiled. The night was dark. The future was uncertain, but humanity was no longer alone. They had an ancient guardian. They had new allies, and they had 300 years to prepare for the storm that was coming. It would have to be enough.